I just knew.
I just knew.
So, hey y'all.
Hey.
We back again.
Back again.
Period. Let me start. So, this episode, we're gonna call it 8 weeks and 24 hours. So for those of you who just now tuning in, if you have not watched previous episodes, I did touch on me having a miscarriage within my marriage. Me and my ex-husband did not have kids together. And one of the experiences I did not talk about was September 2022. I experienced an ectopic pregnancy. Oh, Lord, okay. And for those of you who are not educated on what an ectopic pregnancy is, it's basically when the baby grows in the fallopian tube. So it's the guy's sperm and the egg meets and the baby grows, but it's stuck in a tube. And as you know, imagine like a Skittle in a straw. You know what I mean? That size. So we know throughout pregnancy, the baby grows. So eventually my tube was going to rupture. So it was an emergency where I had to get my left tube removed. But backtrack to how we got to that point. So, as I said, it was September 2022. And what was so crazy is our marriage was still experiencing chaos. Mm-hmm. I remember us being into it still. We were still at odds about something. I don't know if it was still about him entertaining other females. We were still in a very rocky place. I remember that. Mm-hmm. And it didn't help that we both ended up testing positive for COVID. Mm-hmm. So now we're in this quarantine together in the house. Can't stand each other. I just remember we was at each other next, and I not knowing at that moment, some of it was COVID symptoms, but also pregnancy symptoms. Like my patience was like this with him. And he like, what's wrong with you? And it was just like, I'm looking at him like, I can't stand you. Like I'm just coming at his head. Yeah. Could not stand him. And I think we both had lost our taste, smell, all those things. I'm having hot flashes, but I knew something was off because I was craving like pickles and I wanted spicy food. But mind you, I couldn't taste nothing. And I just felt physically, I felt something. I felt really hot. Hot flashes was really bad, but I didn't know if it was, again, COVID. So when the time came around for me to get my cycle, I missed it. And something was just like, wait it out, see if it comes. So I waited a couple more days. And then eventually I took a pregnancy test and it turned out positive. From that point on, it was like, we good. So I was like, okay, maybe this is what we needed. This is going to be our rainbow baby. Like, this is going to change our marriage. Because he started doing more, showing more attention, being more affectionate, being more intentional once he knew I was pregnant. That I can say. When I found out I was pregnant, he was being very, intentional, very... sensitive and listening to me, make babe, you need anything. Like he was being that. As short-lived as it was, he did do it. Yeah. So, with me already being considered high risk, because mind you, prior to that I had a miscarriage. So with me knowing I was pregnant, I immediately went to go get an ultrasound done. And at that moment, for most ladies, when you're that early on, you have to get a transvaginal ultrasound because you're not further along enough for them to do it on the top of the stomach. So at that particular appointment, they weren't able to see the baby. I think the first thing you see is what they call it, the
uterus,
the sac or something. Yeah, that's like the first thing you see at early on the weeks, but they didn't see that. So she was like, "Well, your test, the test is coming out positive, so you are pregnant. Maybe you're just earlier than what you think." So she's like, "We're gonna reschedule you a couple weeks out or whatever." Okay, cool. And the whole time I'm feeling like my intuition is, I couldn't know if it was like trauma or me just more so feeling like this wasn't going to be successful, right? Yeah. But you're not trying to think that way. I didn't know if I was just being paranoid from previous experiences, right? Had it in your head, correct. Yeah. Or if I was just, something wasn't right. So that appointment, they told us come back or whatever. So in the midst of me waiting the weeks out, I was still making sure I was, taking care of myself, taking my prenatals, not doing too much, lifting or whatever. And I just remember I started spotting. And which is something that's pretty normal in the early stages of pregnancy too. Like people tell you, like, you're going to spot, it's not a big deal, as long as there's no clotting or anything that comes behind it. Yeah. Or cramping or whatever. I wasn't doing none of those things. So, but I had just actively told myself, I said, okay, I remember that day it happened, it was on a Monday, Monday night. And he was at work, and I was at home by myself. And I had said, okay, I started spotting, and I said, if it don't stop, I'm going to go to the emergency room. So it had stopped for a little bit. The whole day it stopped. Literally right when he came walking in the door, I was coming out the bathroom. I had just started spotting again. And he came in. I was like, baby, we may need to go to the hospital because I'm spotting. You know what I mean? I don't understand why. And I was like, I want to just be, safe, make sure everything is okay.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, cool. So we went into the hospital just thinking that we finna just get looked at and that be y'all, which is where the 24 hours come in at, because I was 8 weeks at this point. So we go to the hospital. It had to be all of like, he got off around like maybe 6, 7 o'clock at night. We go to the emergency room. I immediately said I'm pregnant, I'm spotting, so they immediately put me in the room. At this point, he's back there with me, and the lady comes in and she does the transvaginal ultrasound. And I just feel her just like moving it to the side and the side. She's trying to find it. And so they talking, showing at the screen, and I'm just looking, and she was like, okay. And she just gave me this look. She was like, there's a baby.
Damn.
She was like, but unfortunately, it's in your tube. Damn. And she's like, this pregnancy is not going to go further.
Yeah.
She was like, the baby has a heartbeat. And immediately when she said that,
I'm sorry.
Immediately when she said that, it was like the whole room just came crashing down.
Yeah.
And me and him, I started bawling. He immediately just grabbed me and, consoled me and everything. And the lady just, the doctors, they gotta have a poker face. Cause when how you looking at me with like empathy, but yet she was very like, okay, so I'm gonna give you some time to figure out what you want to do. You know what I mean? It was like, we gotta move, we gotta keep it moving. Because she started coming with like, okay, but do know, I'm gonna have to give you, she's like, it's 2 options for this because you can't leave here like this. We have to move fast. She was like, we're gonna first do, she said, we're gonna test your HCG levels. If your HCG levels are over 11,000, you're gonna have to go into surgery. If they're under 11,000, you can take a pill, which is gonna eventually flush. It's gonna pass it out, and you will be okay. She's like, but so let's see where your HCG levels are before we make any decision. I'm still stuck on this pregnancy ain't gonna go past. I ain't trying to hear nothing about the options of getting rid of it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure, well, can y'all get it out of there and put it where it need to be? Like that's what I'm thinking. And so she leaves out, and we in the room. They come immediately start changing me out. They're like, put your nightgown on, this, that, this, and I'm just stuck.
Yeah.
And so they come take drawn blood to get my HCG levels. They come back, and they're like, we said that the amount that you needed for the pill was 11,000. They was like, your HCG levels is at 75,000. Like, so you cannot take the pill. It's not even gonna do anything for you. You will have to go into emergency surgery like right now.
You pregnant.
Right. So, we started crying. They was telling him like, unfortunately, you can't go back there with her. So at this point,
and it was COVID time.
So at this point, he has to go in the front, and I'm going in back. So he give me a kiss. He tell me he love me, and I'm changed out. And I just remember being in this room in the waiting area because they was trying to put me in emergency surgery, but I hear the doctors talking around me as I'm they give you the little anesthesia or whatever. So I'm in and out a lot. And I hear them like, we need to get her in, but something had happened. Somebody got in a car accident. They came in. They was like, okay, we got to take care of that first. Emergency surgery for that. Then we're going to get to her. So in the midst of me waiting, I'm just remember just laying there and just being in and out like.
It's because whatever they gave you probably wore off. Was starting to wear off.
So I'm in and out of it. I'm just still haven't put 2 and 2 together. Like, girl, you finna go into a whole emergency surgery. Like, you never had surgery in life.
To call anybody?
No. So he did.
Okay.
He was texting everybody and everybody know what's going on. And that's why like he also knew very little about what was going on with me. You know what I mean? Because he was sitting in the waiting area because they wasn't giving him updates or nothing. I remember him telling me that like I didn't know what was going on with you. Like once I left that room, it was hours before I heard from you again. Aww. Like literally the next day.
That sucks.
So I finally went to surgery. I want to say probably like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember being in surgery and they put the mask on my face and they like breathed it in breathe it in. I'm just remember saying like, I'm still woke. Like, don't do nothing if I'm gonna feel it. I don't want to be up for this. And it literally felt like I blinked my eyes and I woke up and I was in the recovery room. Yeah. Like it was literally in and out. But I remember when I came back too, they was telling me like, you lost a lot of blood. It was good that you came in because you had internal bleeding in your stomach.
You did?
It was like you had I had to get a blood transfusion because I lost so much blood. So I had a blood transfusion, and they was trying to keep me a little bit longer, monitor me, make sure everything leveled out or whatever. And it was like, and I told them, I said, can you, have y'all updated my husband at all? And it was like, what's his name? I say, and I told them, they was like, okay, we're about to go find him. And so eventually they let him come back there because in that time, recovery room, only one person was able to come back there at a time. So he finally was able to, it was 11 o'clock the next day in the morning by the time he came back there. Mind you, we left at 4 o'clock. The previous day was at like 7 o'clock at night. I went in surgery.
And he hadn't seen you.
He hadn't seen me. Since I think when he left from the room, I want to say probably was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So he didn't see me since 10 o'clock the night before. And the next time he seen me is 11 o'clock in the morning. And honestly, that was probably the most I felt loved by him.
Yeah.
And the most scared he had been. Like it was a sincere, like, I was worried about you. I didn't know what happened. I was hoping you was okay. I was hoping you was good. And I think that kind of had made us bond on a different level. So I'm appreciative of that happening because that was probably what kept us married a little bit longer. Okay. Me seeing how he treated me in that aspect.
Okay.
So yeah, I did the whole surgery thing. They was like, well, she's okay to go home. You can set her up for she can get ready to go home. I was on bed rest for about 2 weeks. To this day, I have a gash that's right here over my stomach. They ended up going in through my stomach, put the tubes through my stomach, and they did like an inseam thing because they told me that it's going to be a very little stitch that you have. They had different ways of being able to go in there and get it, pull it out, get it out the way. It was nothing too big they had to do to go in and take care of the situation. But I just remember, like, first of all, physically, I was in so much pain. I had stitches. And I just remember going to the bathroom and seeing my body and crying like, I have to look at these scars for the rest of my life. And to even see that I don't even have a benefit from it. You know what I mean? Like, at least I can say, oh, my child is here. This scar was from her, or mothers with stretch marks. Like, it was a beautiful symbol of you carrying life. But it was more to me like, I have this scar with no proof of anything behind it. It's just a scar. It's another hint or another mark on our marriage that shows me like, why am I here? Talk about suicidal thoughts. Talk about depression. Talk about questioning God, like, God, but I'm doing it again. I'm doing it the right way. And you consistently taking from me out of this relationship. You know what I mean? Everything from me. So what else do I have to stay for? Why am I choosing to be in this? Or why am I still in it? Like, what do you want to do with me at this point? Yeah. And like I said, because when you're on bed rest, you in the room by yourself. Like, he would have to go to work and stuff still. He'll call and check on me. And like a couple of my friends came over and, visit and sat with me and make sure I was good. But I remember I documented it too in my phone. Just video, like I did like video journaling. Journaling. And I would just check in with myself on my mental. And I just remember in that video I talked about like being angry with God. Like I didn't want to pray. And God, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to pray to you. I don't have faith because I'm angry at why you consistently choosing to take from me. I don't feel like I've gained anything of these last couple of years. If anything, everything been taken. You know what I mean? My heart been taken. Like my trust, insecurities, like my role of what I thought I wanted to feel like as a wife has been taken. Yeah. You taking life from me at this point. You know what I mean? So what's left of me at this moment? Why am I here? Why am I here? So, like I said, what brought me out of that for sure was the video journaling I did in my phones, writing. Eventually, I started, get back into the groove of work. My support system was amazing. Like, they made sure I wasn't by myself. Made sure I got out the house, got some fresh air, and, they reminded me that it's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? And even I think with that, with him, life kind of still went on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I kind of still felt like I was the one that was dealing with that the longest. To this day, I'm still dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? It just looks different. It looked a little bit more tolerable to this day. But back then, when it happened, it was like, I don't feel like, you checked in on me enough. Like after the hospital and stuff, it was like, that's kind of like where it stopped. You would see me around the house and be like, babe, I got you or whatever. But it was nothing more. I expected more of a mental check-in.
How are you feeling?
Correct. Yeah, like
How are you doing?
Babe, you been sitting in this house. Let's get outside. Let's get you, let's do something fun today. It was nothing, no extraness behind making sure I was mentally okay. It was just like, can't cry over spilled milk. You know what I'm saying? And then him still going into the father role of his daughter. And it's just like, that was a constant reminder, like, I kind of, did I even still want to be around her like that? Like, I needed time away from that because that was a reminder of it. What you didn't have. And here's the crazy part about that. After that happened, literally every female around me in my circle fell pregnant and had successful babies. And they tell you sometimes God will dangle what's in front of you right in your face. That's something that you want just to see how you will respond to it. So I knew, although it didn't work out for me, I couldn't be bitter with them and their blessings. I had to be just as supportive, if not overly affectionate, overly supportive, to prove that I wasn't going to allow the devil to take me out of, being happy for the next person, although it's not happening for me. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? I had my sister fell pregnant. My best friend had fell pregnant. My sister-in-law had fell pregnant. Literally 3 people around me at that time had all fell pregnant successfully. And they all individually in their own way did not want to tell me they were pregnant. They was like, because I didn't know, you know what I mean? I didn't know how you was going to feel about it. I didn't know, and I told them, I said, I'm happy for you. Yeah. I would want any woman to experience motherhood. You know what I'm saying? And they would, so I appreciated them for caring that much or wanting to be, mindful of everything and understanding where my mental may have been if they felt that they was, boasting or putting it in my face. But I didn't look at it like that. Again, I'm not the type of person. I do remember though, my mom, sometimes when you don't want to hear, you feel like, Mama, this ain't the time. She gonna be the one to kind of like throw that little cliff in there, like the cliffhanger in there, like, oh, so I know you upset. I know you really wanted this baby, but maybe this is God's reminder that this ain't for you. Y'all ain't supposed to be together.
Did she say that?
She said it. She was like, baby, listen to me. I know you want this to work. I know you wanted this baby. She was like, but maybe God don't want that for y'all. Maybe he's not the one you supposed to be experiencing that with. Yeah. And when you're in that mode, you
don't want to hear it.
Let's just get off the phone. Let's get off the phone. Because in that moment, you're not understanding. Like, that's the last thing I want to hear. But I knew now I know exactly what she was getting with it. Like, you can't force what God don't want you to.
Because you're in it, so you don't see it because you want the best.
But when I started to do the math, it was like, this is the second time it has happened. And clearly, it takes nothing from him to go out here and do it. Yeah. And it ain't happening for me. Yeah. Sometimes God's rejection of his protection. He's blocking it for a reason. Because my life today would look so much different had I did. Would I have had the courage to do what I'm doing today had that happened? Had that baby been in this world?
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying? So when you think about the why behind it, thank you, God. And it's nothing towards him, but thank you, God. Some things we have to be able to look past and just understand it's a reason for it. But trust me, in that moment, I wasn't trying to hear none of that. Yeah. None of that. Then Mama, you want to talk about God? I'm mad at God right now. I don't want to talk about God. God, I'm pissed. I'm real life a person out here who do good on purpose, but yet I'm feeling like I'm getting all the bad happen to me when the people out here who don't even want kids having them. But you got somebody like me who has a heart, who wants to do it, who wants to be a mom, and I have to go through all of this. And then when I finally get a little bit of a taste to experience it, you take it away from me. The worst way possible is I lost the tube. So I got to lose the tube, lose my child, lose what I felt was like part of my identity. What are my gains? What am I gaining out of this? But of course, the doctor told me, you could definitely have a child with one tube. I got all my ovaries, you know what I mean? But then I'm also battling with the fact that I ain't no young spring chicken like that, really. I'm 35, but we all know, after a while, Yeah. That's what I'm thinking at that time. Now I feel like nowadays people having babies at 40, 50 years old. That's different. But in that time span, or how I was feeling at that time, I'm
getting older.
And then what broke my heart the most was like, I can't even give to my husband what most women can give. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
At that moment.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm fulfilling my wifely duties in regards to being able to reproduce on a healthy note. Because now I'm questioning, what was the real reason? Because the reason behind why it got stuck in my tubes. Is it something that I wasn't taking care of my body? Was it something with him? You know what I mean? So now I'm questioning everything about myself.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you know, I was just not in a good headspace at all.
Yeah.
For a minute. But I thank God that I thank God that I started doing the videos. I thank God that I had the support system that I had. I thank God for the experience itself, because right when I finally did share that story, so many people reached out. I was like, I went through the same thing. And they started giving me like, girl, I had to happen to me. But I turned around, fell pregnant 3 times after that. You know what I mean? They don't give up. You're going to be okay. The encouragement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The women empowerment, people who I don't even talk to on a regular, inboxing me. I would have never known you was going through that. You so strong, girl. You going to be good. You know, I needed that. Because I really wasn't getting it from who I really wanted to get it from. So to get it from them, it made me feel more and more okay with telling my story. And not feeling like I'm just, I don't know, a Martian out here who just like, I felt very alone. But when you talk about it, and I would tell that to anybody, like, you know, tell your story. Talk about what you're going through. Talk about your traumas. Share it with somebody, because you never know who may be able to relate to it.
Or who may need it.
Who may need it.
Or how they can fill your cup back up.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes when we tell these stories, we don't tell it for our own gratitude or self-gratification. We tell it to get it out, or at least we do. Tell it to get it out as a sense of therapy and just releasing it. You know what I mean? And not knowing that it's helping someone else, or not knowing that your encouraging words or something that I said that related to you or felt familiar to you might fill me back up. And I encourage the same thing. Tell your story. Whatever that may look like, tell your story. I just want to say real quick that being with this episode and another episode that'll be coming after this, we are talking a lot about grieving and suicide and all that things. I would like to say that if you are ever alone, because I feel like a lot of the times when you're grieving and you're in these, it's really in the silent moments where you're having these thoughts like, get out, take a walk, surround yourself with people. Try not to lose yourself. Try not to, and it's hard. It's easy to say when you're not in it, but being someone that's witness to it, you've been witness to it, 2 separate things, but still the root of it is grief. Don't sit in it. Don't drown in it. Let someone know how you're feeling, because that silence will eat you alive. Trying to figure out what life looks like outside of whatever you're dealing with. You're not going to be the same person, but you'll eventually learn how to create a new life.
And even in that moment, as much as I knew that I was going to see the light in it, I could not see it. It was so hard to see that to even think that I would even see the good in it. And like I said, I just knew that I wouldn't see light.
You thought that I wouldn't survive. The devil is a lie. Truth is that I'm doing